This is my collection of books. First of all, hi. Not sure who's gonna see this. Most of you probably know me. And if you don't, hi. I'm a high school rising senior. I took AP Lang last year, and I'm taking AP Lit my senior year. And I study language. That's what I'm gonna major in. And I love reading. I've always loved reading. So this is my personal book collection, not my family's, mine. If you're judging me, please do. I have a huge problem with buying books. Every Christmas, Amazon gift cards, books. Barnes & Noble gift card for my birthday, books. Books. I am a big fan of reading. So this first stack right here is books that I have read and finished. Books I haven't touched. And that back stack right there is books that I've started and not finished for various reasons, whether I got bored and had to start a new one or just never finished it for some reason. So let's get into it. First of all, I'm not going to talk about the books much. I'm just going to go over all the books that I have and then we'll get into it. But basically, this summer I want to finish all of the books that I haven't read or started and didn't finish and talk about them. I'm really good at podcasting, so this is my attempt at that. And once I finish these, I also have a TBR that I may or may not go over depending on how long this video is. But yeah, let's get started. First book, Crush by Richard Seiken. I can't get into them, sorry. Well loved. A Child Called It by Dave Pelzer. Brokeback Mountain by Annie Proulx. I think is how you say that. Go Ask Alice by Anonymous. Oh my god. Le Petit Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry in the English version. I really want the French version, but I can't afford it. The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams. Choker by Elizabeth Woods. I read this in middle school. I have to reread it, so I will be rereading it and doing a little dissertation on it because I really remember this being a really, really good book, but I just really need to reread it because it's been like 5 or 6 years now. Handmaid's Tale. Also really going to reread this one. This is really, really poignant for being a woman. George Orwell, Homage to Catalonia. I went to Barcelona and I bought this. There's a park by a really famous artist in Barcelona, a really famous Barcelonian artist. And that book was sold there. I bought it there. I read it in 8th grade for a book report, quarterly book report that I had from my English teacher, and I ended up not using that for my book report, but I do remember it being like my kind of the first kind of, whatever. Rupi Kaur and her poetry. I bought these in London. I loved them at the time. Now, being a more seasoned poetry reader, not so much, but I did read it once upon a time. The Cook by Mélie de Caringal. I think is how you say it. This, I believe, is originally in French. Read it last year. Don't really remember a lot, but I'll reread it and I'll do a video on it. The Pearl by John Steinbeck. This is one of the first classics I ever read. This is my dad's copy. And I read it when I was in like 5th grade. And I do also really remember this being a good book. Touching Spirit Bear by Ben Michelson. Amazing book. Also read that when I was really young and it just really stuck with me. Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. My best friend recommended this to me and I bought it and I read it. Crazy fucking book to read as like an 8th grader. But also really like relevant at the time because like I don't know, middle school and everything's going on. Call Me by Your Name. You can see this copy is well loved. I'm huge on annotations and obviously really, really great book. Diary of an Oxygen Thief, again, well read copy. Crazy fucking book. Speak by Laurie Halls Anderson. I tried reading her poetry book and I couldn't get through it this year. I tried reading it this year and I couldn't get through it, unfortunately. Nigel Warburton, Little History of Philosophy. I bought this at the British History Museum, and it was actually like really great for understanding a lot of like philosophers. Summer of Sloane, I bought this at the Dollar Tree by Aaron L. Schneider. I think I've read this like 4 or 5 times. It's, in retrospect, not that great of a book, but again, I was a really huge reader when I was little. Haunted Cemeteries, I bought this at Cracker Barrel by Tom Ogden. It's really good if you're into spooky stuff. Let me stop talking about them and just show the books. Dear Evan Hansen, the novel, not the play, but Dear Evan Hansen by Val Emmich with Stephen Levinson, Benj Pazik, and Justin Paul. Straight James, Gay James by James Franco. That's crazy. Animal Farm by George Orwell. I just bought this copy today. I read this in 7th grade. Again, really poignant for the times, and I am going to reread it. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I read this my freshman year. Again, really awesome sci-fi novel. That was when I was really first getting into sci-fi. Picture of Dorian Gray. I fucking hate this book. I'll get into it later. Oscar Wilde, whatever. I read it. Ernest Hemingway, The Sun Also Rises. This is gonna sound really like picturesque and aesthetic. I read this in Portugal. I know, I'm crazy. Anyways, to add to the list of books that I'm missing from my collection that I have read, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. My best friend has that copy. I could talk about that book all fucking day. The Crucible by Arthur Miller. I read that in AP English Language and Composition this year. Crazy good book. I didn't even think I was gonna like it, and I really liked it. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I read that in my freshman year. Not even for a class, like just because I was like pretentious and I wanted to read a bunch of classics. Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I also read that my freshman year when I was really pretentious. Saturday Night and Sunday Morning by Alan Silito. I read that because Alex Turner liked it, and when I talk about my TBR, you'll recognize why that is. Virgin Suicides, I started it and then I lost my copy and I don't know where it is. I've like cleaned out my entire room and I can't fucking find it, so whatever. And then The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and I can't remember who the author is. My stack of books is falling. Hold on. Okay, now we're gonna get into the books that I started and never finished. John Steinbeck of Mice and Men. I also started this my freshman year towards the end, and I never finished it, but it is truly like a really, really, really cute book. Franz Kafka, La Métamorphose. You by Caroline Kepnes. I just bought this recently, and I am going deep on it. I really, really, really like that TV show, and I knew it was a book series before it was a TV show, so I've wanted to read the books for fucking ever. Excellent books. Excellent books. I will be making a video on the entire series once I finish it. My Dark Vanessa. This book is fucking crazy, and it is gonna take some personal strength to persevere through that. The Paris Review version, or volume 1, this one is a really good book, but that's not really literature, just more of like journalism. Anyway, I'm continuing. The Premier Book of Major Poets edited by Anita Dorr. It's an anthology. I started this before I moved here, so like 2 years ago now. I don't remember much. To Rule the Night by James Irwin with William A. Emerson Jr. This book was being given out for free at my elementary school that I went to. So I got it for free, and I do remember reading it briefly when I was in elementary school, but I don't remember if I ever finished it, so I just put it in this pile. Sir David Lindsay's Selected Poems, edited by Janet Hadley Williams. This is really fucking crazy. It's written in Scottish or Gaelic or some shit. It's kind of difficult to read. So I started it and never finished it. Leonard Cohen, Book of Longing. Leonard Cohen, I love you. It doesn't have any annotations, but I am like halfway through it. Marjorie Morningstar by Herman Wouk. I again started that long time ago. Never finished it. I barely got, I don't know, in like 50 pages in. I need to finish it because it's been in my collection forever. Les Fleurs du Mal by Charles Baudelaire. I'm making good progress through it. It is really good. This next book, I don't even have to look at it. I just grabbed it and felt the girth of the spine, and I know it's Infinite Jest. Again, when I was really pretentious, I wanted to read Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace because apparently that makes you like seem cool and deep and smart. I wanted to read it because Alex Turner was reading it. It is a really great book. It's just super fucking dense. Anyway, I'm moving on. Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I didn't finish this because it's so fucking cringe. I actually can't stand it. You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow. This is by the same author who wrote Girl in Pieces, so I thought I'd like it. I think I've just grown out of the Girl in Pieces era of my life, but I do want to finish it because my best friend really loves it, and apparently it's really good. So, Under the Roofs of Paris by Henry Miller. This book is freaky as fuck. I am gonna finish it eventually. Just fucking wow. That is all of the books that I've started and not finished. Moving on to books that I've never fucking opened before in my life. Well, I've flipped through them, or I know what they're about, or I got influenced by them. So this is my good deed, and I bought them so you don't have to. I know you're seeing them all over TikTok because I saw them all over TikTok, and I bought them for Christmas, and I've just been making my way through the books, but there's so fucking many that I bought. I don't even know why I bought that many. Anyway, whatever. I digress. Candide by Voltaire. La Poésie surréaliste by Jean-Louis Bédoin, or edited by Jean-Louis Bédoin. Perfume by Patrick Susskind. I bought this because Kurt Cobain loves it. This is the other two books in the You series, Hidden Bodies and You Love Me by Caroline Kepnes. Paradise Rot by Jenny Vall. Post Office by Charles Bukowski. All the people that I love, musicians, actors, artists, love Bukowski, so I want to read a little bit of Bukowski. The Half Price Bookstore hates to see me coming. I bought this at the Half Price Bookstore. Julian Barnes, Talking It Over. I thrifted this like 3 years ago. I still haven't read it. Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. Haven't started that either, but again, saw it on TikTok, so. L'étrangère, The Stranger by Albert Camus. Must read. This is like a must read, and it will be read eventually, and I'll do a video on it. Hedda Gabler by Henrik Ibsen. That looks like a German name. Anyway, also heard it's really good. And then Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. This is just the end of this stack. For obvious reasons. I think we all love that movie, book, whatever. Okay, 2 I bought today. Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joe Didion. That also obvious reasons. The Notebook, obvious reasons. If on a Winter's Night, a Traveler by Italo Calvino. This is like a choose your own story book, or so I've heard. I was gifted this for my birthday one year. I haven't opened it. Softening Time by Elena Brower. I bought this last Christmas. I still haven't opened it. Smash, Story of a Drunken Girlhood by Corin Zalkas. Have not opened. Thrifted that. Because smashed. Anyway, Blind Owl by Sadek Hedayat. Also TikTok. Oscar Wilde Complete Poetry. Because Oscar Wilde. Again, pretentious me when I was like 14, 15, 16. Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Obvious reasons. Perks of Being a Wallflower is like a great movie. I've seen it. I loved it. Whatever. Open Water by Caleb Azuma and Nelson. I've heard this is a really great movie, or really great book, and I also saw it on TikTok. Notes from Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Dostoevsky, again, pretentious me, just bought it because it's by a famous author, so maybe it's good. In the Cafe of Lost Youth by Patrick Modiano. I bought that a long time ago. I still haven't opened it. Please don't judge me, okay? I plan to read all of these books in due time. Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. I love their poetry. I'm not sure if it's a woman or a man. I love their poetry. I see it everywhere, and every time I'm like absolutely blown away. So I know that book is going to be great. I still have not opened it. Possession by A.S. Bayat. Also saw this at the Half Price Bookstore and just had to get it. Couldn't help myself. Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. I was also gifted that because I love J.D. Salinger. I really loved Catcher in the Rye. I mentioned that I read Catcher in the Rye. I don't have it, but I loved it, as every pretentious teenager does. I did. Michel Foucault, Discipline and Punish. Heard this is really good, so I bought it. Bunny by Mona Awad. Again, heard it's really good on TikTok, so I bought it. American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. It's a red flag that I even have that in my collection, but it was at the Half Price bookstore, so I got it. No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. I think everybody's heard of that book now. It's supposedly, allegedly, really good. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Again, everybody says that they love that book, so here I am to read it. Paris Review volume, Winter 2024 volume. I just bought that recently because I don't think there's another word for it. I'm pretentious and I love being a high schooler who reads the Paris Review. Just Kids by Patti Smith. Again, everybody I loved that book, so I had to get it. Finally, we made it to... Did we make it to the end? I think we did. Okay. There's one more over here, but... Didion and Babbitts by Lily Analick. I was intrigued by Joan Didion and Eve Babbitts, but I heard it's just really gossipy, and that you just learn a lot about the 60s or 50s, so... Whatever, it's there. And then Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. It's just like a classic, so I had to. Anyway, this is an excuse to reorganize my book collection. Not necessarily based off of in what order I'm going to read the books. I organize by height order. You can fight me. I don't understand people who do it by color order or any, like, alphabetically. I don't care. If I see the books in not height order, it will drive me nuts. But anyway, that was all the books I own. Let's just get into my TBR, because we have time, surprisingly. Continuing my love of J.D. Salinger, my really pretentious love of J.D. Salinger. For Esme with Love and Squalor by J.D. Salinger. Piggybacking off of The Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace, we have Brief Interviews with Hideous Men by David Foster Wallace and Pale King by David Foster Wallace. A whole lot of Bukowski. Women, Ham on Rye, Kurt Cobain loves that one, so I obviously. Love is a Dog, Pulp, what the fuck am I saying? Pulp, Factotum, Loneliness, and Notes for Dirty Old Man, all by Charles Bukowski. Impossible Vacation by Spalding Gray. Desperate Characters by Paula Fox, On the Road by Jack Kerouac, and also Western Coast by Paula Fox. All I want to read those because they're mentioned in the You series. And also, Joe from You is, like, extremely pretentious, so why wouldn't I also read all of those books? I like being well read, so it feels relevant. There is a Happy Land by Keith Waterhouse, Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Those are all because Alex Turner liked those books. So again, if somebody that I love loves a book or a piece of media, then I also try to understand. I put these on my TBR when I was probably like 14 or 15, so it's a little dated, but I would still love to read them anyway. Disappearance of Childhood and Conscientious Objections, also by Neil Postman. Tender as the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I think those two are also really classics that I just have to read. Heaven and Hell by Aldous Huxley. I really liked Brave New World, so Heaven and Hell seems like a good, Anna Karenina, I think is how you say it, by Leo Tolstoy. Again, Leo Tolstoy must be good. And also Anna Karenina is like a really great movie. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I almost bought that one today, but I can't justify spending more than $85. I spent $85 today on books, so whatever. 1984 by George Orwell. Please don't, shoot me with a harpoon. I haven't read 1984, but I read Animal Farm, and I also know that 1984 is a really venerated novel, so I might as well. Love in the Time of Cholera. I hear that one all the time, and I read the back of it the other day when I was at the bookstore. It's by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I read the back of it the other day, and I was like, I almost bought it, but again, I can't justify spending more than what I spend at the bookstore. I have my limits. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I also almost bought that one the other day. I really need to read East of Eden. It's just like eating at me. I know that book is great, and I just need it. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I saw that one at Barnes & Noble today, and I almost bought it, but again. Girl Interrupted by Suzanne Kazin. Love that movie. I would love to read the book. I Remain in Darkness by Annie Ernaux. Lie With Me by Philippe Besson. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Those three are all very haunting novels about They're just sad. I think they're just sad, which really speaks to me because I'm really not an emotional person, but sad books. Fuck yeah. I will take it. Frankenstein in Baghdad by Ahmed Sadawi. I read the synopsis. Holy shit. I have to read that book. It looks so good. I Never Promised You a Rose Garden by Joanne Greenberg also looks really great. Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. Again, piggybacking off of a great artist or a great author. Joan Didion, like everything she does must be great. Conversations with Friends and Normal People by Sally Rooney, also two very popular books on TikTok that I just have to read. Like, I tried watching Normal People. Don't shoot me, I didn't like it, but maybe I can revisit it and like it again. Black Swans by Eve Babbitt, anything by Eve Babbitt, let's be honest. Bonjour Tristesse by Françoise Saga. Bonjour Tristesse is very, very popular novel, and I really want to read it. The Lover de Ross and Lady Chatterley's Lover. I forgot who those are by. I didn't write it down. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I think that's like a coming of age, like very Bildungsroman novel. I think that's a very adolescent novel, especially an adolescent female novel to read. Spy in the House of Love by Anais Nin. Again, just like Rainier Maria Rilke, I love every bit of poetry I read by Anais Nin. And also some of her interviews were in the Paris Review Volume 1. So I really, really like her. M Train by Patti Smith. I've heard it's not as good as Just Kids by Patti Smith. But again, Patti Smith, great, great, great artist. A Very Easy Death by Simone de Beauvoir. Simone de Beauvoir is also another artist that I really, really, or author, poet, whatever, that I really enjoy reading when I see quotes by them, wherever. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I heard that's really good. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, which is about grief of losing a father. And also Sunbathing by Isabel Beach is about grief about losing a father, which I think would murder me, so I just have to read it. Talking at Night by Claire Daverly. Mad Woman by Chelsea Beaker. Happy Hour by Marlo Granados. Johnny Got His Gun by Dalto Trumbo. I heard that's really disturbing. And, you know, anything that's very extreme in its genre. So very extremely descriptive poetry, very extremely horrifying thrillers. I'm there for it. Very extremely sad novels of grief. Sign me up. Like, I'm there. Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bright and Black Flies by Shannon Berg. The Pillow Man by Martin McDonough, I also heard are very, very horrifying and or disturbing. So, like I said, I'm there. I will be reading those whenever I get the opportunity to buy them. When money comes my way, which it will. Let's manifest it together right now. It will come my way. I will be getting all of these novels. And then the last one on my list is White Nights by Dostoevsky. So that's it. That's my TBR, and that's all the books in my library. So I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to start making videos about each of the books that are in my library, because I really need to motivate myself to read quicker, because I'm taking my sweet time. And now that I'm on summer break, I'm there. And now that I've taken an AP English course, bitch, I'm there. Coming very soon to a YouTube account near you. So thank you for watching, and I hope you saw a book that you really want to know about or that you love, so that we can have a discourse on it. This is my favorite thing to do ever. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.